Thanks for inviting us in tonight. Here we are, less than 2 weeks away from the school bell ringing, and tonight IPS is out with its safety plan for the fall semester. This has been a big question for thousands of students and parents, so let's dive right into tonight's big story and take a look at what's in store for masks, social distancing, and after-school activities.
Vaccinated students 12 and older can opt out of wearing a mask by volunteering proof of vaccination, but any unvaccinated student will have to mask up. Teachers and staff who are vaccinated can also provide the school with proof to ditch their masks, but the district highly recommends keeping masks around unvaccinated students and those at higher risk of catching COVID. And keep in mind, masks are still required on all IPS buses, regardless of vaccination, in order to follow federal guidelines. As far as social distancing in the classrooms, schools will keep students 3 feet apart whenever possible, and students will have assigned seating in the cafeteria. They're also keeping the cohort system in place for small groups of students to make contact tracing easier. And when it comes to after-school activities, student athletes do not have to mask up at practices or games. Band, orchestra, and choir groups are limited to 45 minutes of practice. They will social distance. And string and percussion players who aren't vaccinated will have to wear masks. Games and after-school performances will be open to the public. IPS asks anyone attending who isn't vaccinated to mask up.
This all comes just a day after the American Academy of Pediatrics released its recommendations for school mask policies. They say every student, teacher, and staff member should keep masking up regardless if they're vaccinated, mainly because kids under the age of 12 can't get the shot yet.
And you have a substantial proportion of the population that is unvaccinated, that you really want to go the extra step, the extra mile to make sure that there's not a lot of transmission.
Right now, kids make up nearly 16% of COVID cases nationwide, with more than 23,000 pediatric cases just last week. IPS is not requiring students or staff to get the vaccine, but it is encouraged. They're hosting 3 free clinics next week. We've got those dates and times posted for you online, along with a breakdown of the new IPS COVID safety plan. Just open up our WTHR app. And that wraps up tonight's big story.